Hello, it's Brendan from Parker's, and I'm here to take you through what's been going on with the West Oxfordshire property market this summer and what I think is going to happen over the coming months as we come into autumn. So firstly, thanks for watching, and let's have a look at what's been going on. I mean, firstly, the West Oxfordshire market is different. We do have a slightly higher proportion of cash buyers, and we are a very rural area with fewer flats and more detached properties. But interestingly, looking at what has been sold in the last 12 months, then West Oxfordshire is outperforming the wider southeast, with both semi-detached and detached properties performing much better in positive territory compared to the wider area, with flats letting the side down. But we have a lower proportion of flats here in West Oxfordshire. Looking at what happened over the summer months is really interesting. So the volume of sales agreed was roughly the same each month, but July was the busiest of those months. And as always, three-bedroom properties were where the majority of the action happened, with nearly 40% of transactions in that size property. But again, really skewed, like we were in my summer report, to the sub £500,000 market. You know, over 3/4 of properties sold subject to contract were in the sub £500,000 category. Normally, we'd expect to see more higher end sales in the area, and that shows that that part of the market remains a little bit subdued. And you can just see here the figures for what was agreed by all agents in the whole of West Oxfordshire across the whole of the summer. Demand-wise, it's been an interesting time. You can see here that Oxford city centre was the only part of Oxfordshire really that saw a growth in values, but that is countered, statistics and all the rest of it, nearly a 50% drop in transaction volumes. And if we exclude the city, then you can see that, transaction volumes are well down year on year, down nearly 40%. But of course, that covers the whole 12-month period. And actually, when we look at the summer, we are seeing transaction volumes increasing now as people embrace the interest rate changes, the new government, and probably a more stable outcome for the housing market now that inflation is coming back under control. So what does this mean? Well, the southeast is seeing, roughly a 2% increase in property values, and that's in line with the south of England. And it's only in the north and Northern Ireland where property prices are doing much better, but they performed much worse in the past. And it's often the way that we see here in West Oxfordshire that property values, do operate in their own little environment, and those sort of troughs that are experienced elsewhere tend to be shielded in the rural southeast. So house price growth, Rightmove have reported the strongest growth since late 2022. They're saying that the autumn bounce has come early, and West Oxfordshire property prices now stand at nearly £375,000. Buyer confidence has been boosted by that rate cut, and we're seeing increasing changes, positive changes to the market. The consensus now is that house prices nationally will rise 1.4% this year. Previously, everyone was suggesting that the average consensus was a minus 2.2% contraction. So that's a swing of 3.6%, which is pretty significant. This is the latest information from Zoopla. They looked across all of the transactions that were reported through their portal. 1 in 5, nearly 20% of properties had a price reduction to achieve a sale. But there were some really interesting figures that have come out of this. If your property is reduced in price whilst being sold, then the average time taken to agree a sale is an extra 45 days, so an extra month and a half. And those that have seen a price reduction achieve just 84.4% of their original asking price. And what Rightmove have noticed is that any properties that have had a price reduction, statistically, that sale is twice as likely to fall through, with all the costs and stress and associated issues that go with that. So my key points from the West Oxfordshire property market update for the autumn are to price correctly. If you don't, then you're potentially in for the long haul, and for a less good outcome at the end, simply follow the evidence. A good agent will give you the evidence to make an informed decision. And if they are inflating that, then that will be very obvious, and the consequences to you as a potential seller could be significant. Buyers are being price sensitive at the moment, and they're being choosy. That is because here in West Oxfordshire, there are 7% more properties to choose from than there were this time last year, and new listings are up 11.5%. So there is choice out there in the market. As I said, the autumn bounce has come early. We've seen a really busy start to the autumn, and I genuinely think that is going to continue through the latter half of this year, as we hopefully see a further interest rate cut in the Bank of England base rate, and mortgage rates are already coming down in anticipation of that. You need to plan and understand the move. Disappointingly, the average time from putting your home on the market to completing in England is 6.5 months. I know that sounds crazy, but that is the national average. It takes 60 days on average to agree a sale, and then a further 154 days on average for that sale to progress from a sale agreed to completing, so hand swapping the keys for the cash. 214 days in total, or just over 6.5 months. Put it this way, if you're instructing an agent, 72% of the time you spend with that agent, so nearly 3/4 of the time, will be on progressing that sale. Make sure that agent is in their office, that office is local, and they know what they're doing, because if they don't, then that is what's skewing those figures for longer transaction times. And of course, the elephant in the corner of the room, which I'll leave you with, is the budget. It's right at the tail end of October, and that, if you sit on the fence in a rising market, property prices are going to continue to go up, is certainly forecast as the consensus. And if you wait until after the budget, then you're into the sort of Christmas silly season, and you're probably looking down the barrel of a 2025 process to move. So as always, I'm Brendan from Parker's. We've got offices here in Witney and Ensham and across the southeast and southwest. But any questions, queries, please do get in touch. We'd love to help if we can. Thanks for watching.